Hi, I'm Dr. Tiana Seetsy from RejuvenationMD, and we have offices in both Burlington and Bellingham, Washington. And today I'm sitting in our great, gorgeous Bellingham location in our CoolSculpting room. And I'm here to tell you about CoolSculpting. I just love this procedure. It's probably my favorite one because it freezes your fat cells. And I'll tell you, I did not believe it to begin with, that this actually works. I thought it was a big hoax, but I've tried it and it does work. And it has over a 90% satisfaction rate, which is fantastic. But let me tell you, I didn't believe it until I actually heard the studies. So this concept actually began back in the 1960s, where there were all these parents bringing their kids into the doctor because they were forming new dimples at age 6. And the doctors at Harvard figured out that these kids were sucking on popsicles to help with teething, and they were freezing their cheek fat. So they called it popsicle paniculitis. They put it in a book, and that was it. And then about 20 years later, there were all these horse jockeys that were coming in the spring and summertime with their inner thighs all shelled out. Well, they were riding their horses in Massachusetts, where Harvard is, and they were freezing their inner thigh fat on their horses. So the doctors at Harvard called it equestrian paniculitis. They put that in a book, and that was the end of it. And then 20 years after that, there were two very smart doctors at Harvard who figured out how we could freeze fat cells without using horses or popsicles. So now we have 9 applicators that controllably freeze fat. So basically what happens is we put an applicator on an area of stubborn fat. It brings the temperature down to -11 degrees, and that's the temperature at which your fat cells will burst and die. So they don't actually get smaller like they do with diet and exercise, but they actually burst and die. And once that happens, your macrophages, which are the garbage men in your bloodstream, come and take those fat cells, it's now debris, processes it through your liver and out through your stool. So you poop out your fat cells, which is great. That's just where they belong, in the sewer. It is the demand of a French fry a day on our liver, so it's really no demand. And there's plenty of studies that show that there's no change in liver function tests, the cholesterol levels all stay the same, so it's perfectly safe. It takes about 1 to 3 months to see the results, and what we see is a 20 to 25% reduction in your fat cells in that area. And like I said, your fat cells go to the sewer, so they're not going to move other places. So if you were to treat your belly and then you were to gain weight, your belly may have a little bit of a change, but perhaps an area that you didn't treat, like your butt, would get bigger because there's 25% more fat cells here because you didn't CoolSculpt that. Whereas here, there's 25% less number, so you see less fat growth here. So then, when you were to lose that 20 pounds again, you're going to notice, oh, there's my CoolSculpting again, and it is permanent, which is great because those fat cells are dead and gone. You only make fat cells when you're born, puberty, and pregnancy. So if you're done with all that and you CoolSculpt them away, they're not coming back, they're not moving other places. There's really no downtime from this procedure. You can get up and you can run the next day, you can run the same day. It's always best to couple this CoolSculpting with diet and exercise. This is definitely not a way to say, hey, I'm going to CoolSculpt and I'm going to start eating bonbons again. You don't want to do that, but when you couple it with diet and exercise and you CoolSculpt, you can get really great results. So at our office here, the way that we do our consultations, or for people that have questions about CoolSculpting, we offer free consultations. You come in, we assess you, which means that we're going to squeeze your fat and make sure your fat is freezable fat. So if it's squeezable, it's freezable. If it's not squeezable, if it's really hard fat that's underneath your muscle, we're not going to be able to get that. But if it's right on top of the muscle and it's nice and squishy, we can freeze that and we can get you great results. So you'll come in, we do a CoolSculpt consult, we squeeze you, you make your appointment for whatever day it works for you, and then when you come in for your appointment, we'll take pictures, so we can do before and after pictures, and then we'll sit you in this nice comfortable room. We'll put the machine on you, we'll even get you some lunch, and then at the end, when we take off the applicator, we have this great machine called the Z-Wave, which helps enhance the results even more. It's radio waves that we apply right after we take the applicator off, and it just helps to finish off those last few fat cells that might be hanging on for life. Well, we kill them off with the radio waves. So that's CoolSculpting Plus, and we offer that at no additional charge, but it gives you an even better result. And we are very results driven here. So much so that we've sent 2 people to CoolSculpting University multiple times. I shouldn't say multiple times, we sent them twice, but we went to a master's class, and there's currently only 100 masters in the whole country, and we have 2 of them at our office, and I'm one of them, so that makes me happy. But that means that we are able to give you the best results possible because we've been trained really, really well. We have all the newest applicators. You really want to make sure that when you go see a CoolSculpting specialist that they have been to CoolSculpting University. It would be great if they were a master in CoolSculpting, which we're one of the few. And because if you don't go to somebody that knows what they're doing, you can form indents and have problems in the areas that you treat. So you really want to make sure that you go to somebody that knows what they're doing, and you'll get the best results that way. So I really hope that you enjoy this little lecture about CoolSculpting. I'll tell you, I've tried it, I know it works, and if I didn't think it worked, I wouldn't offer it to our patients. So I really love this treatment. Come and see us and you can find out more information. We also, on our website at RejuvenationMDMedSpa.com, we have a lot of our before and after pictures and frequently asked questions if I didn't answer them already. So we hope to see you soon.